What's up, y'all? It's Mrs. Randy Watson. No, I'm just... It's Shy. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? I am drinking my tea, and I have extricated myself, guys. I am in my tranquil space, and now I can talk to you guys. My daughter has finally gone to sleep, my little toddler. She had me up all last night, besides the fact I was already working on something, but I couldn't really focus and get it done. I did get a lot done, so I'm proud of myself for that. But, I mean, the remainder of the night or morning, per se, she had me up, okay? Jumping around on the bed, rolling around on the bed, running around the room, screaming. I'm sitting here like, baby, girl, we have neighbors next door. You cannot do that, honey. You cannot do that. And she's looking at me like, whatever, Mom. I'm going to do what the heck I want. Anyway, guys, so I hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. I will say I did. And like I said, besides the fact I was, oh, Lord, I was just so tired. But you know what? She is worth every single lack of sleep. You know, I'm grateful for my children, period. My big girl still isn't here. She will be back home shortly, but she's not home. So, anyway, guys, I wanted to have a little tea time and conversation with you guys. Well, not so much tea time. I'm drinking tea, so you know what I'm saying. But tea time as far as a little conversation, get a little spark going right here. Because this question is actually for you parents out there. Or, you know, those of you who it benefits. You know what I'm saying? When you get into your 20s and more so into your 30s and up, it's like you start to question certain things, okay? So I will get to that in a minute. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story before I ask the question, okay? So one day, this was about 4 months ago, when my big girl was still in school. And actually, no, it was like 6 months ago. And I decided that day that I was going to go pick her up from school. Usually she'll walk home. But that day, she called me like, Mom, can you come pick me up? Fine, baby girl, I will come pick you up. Mind you, her school is literally right around the corner, but it's all good, okay? So, guys, I literally live right next door to McDonald's. They are literally next to my condo, place, okay? So, so I went and I picked her up, and as I was heading back home, I saw these two girls in the McDonald's parking lot, and they were literally about to square up. And I'm like, first of all, these two girls, they look young, like middle school young, but then they also look like they could have been high school. But I found out they went to my daughter's school, so they were middle schoolers, okay? So, actually, I think my sister was out here at the same time, so I'm sitting here like, okay, what in the heck is going on here? You know, because, of course, when you're young, you know, you have a whole audience. You know, you're going to have your instigators and people sitting here like, what's going on? What's going on? So, to make a long story short, my spirit was like, nah, park this damn car right now, okay? And speak your truth. So, I see these girls, like I said, and they squaring up like, bitch, I'll whip your ass and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? I get out the car. And my daughter was like, oh, what's going on? Because she's a little, like, suburban kid. So it's funny. I'm from Oakland. My kid is from the suburbs. She's from the suburbs of Los Angeles, okay? So she doesn't know about that hood life. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, to make a long story short, I get out the car. And I see all these kids instigating. I see the two girls about to square up. I'm like, y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill. What is going on here, y'all? And at first, I think they were ready to say something to me, but then they saw like, oh, she's grown. She's a grown-ass woman. So finally, when the cops came, the cops was talking to one of the girls, and literally, it was like all eyes were on me. And I told the other girl who was about to fight the other one, I said, sweetie, she's not worth it. Okay? She is not worth it. She's not worth your time to be fighting. You're going to look back and be like, first of all, you won't even think about this years from now. Okay? Get your education. Focus on yourself. And then I just went in on all the kids. I said, all of you out here, all of you guys are, I know all of you guys are capable of becoming whatever you want in your life. All of you guys are smart, intelligent young kids, and I want to see y'all win out here. And sitting here fighting people and all of that is not necessary. All of you guys need to chill and realize what the bigger picture is. Get your education. Focus on you. Focus on your education. Focus on what you want out of your life. Fighting somebody is bullshit, okay? Straight the fuck up. None of this matters. I want you guys to all know that you guys are winners inside of you. And you're going to look back as a grown adult and none of this will matter to you. You're going to look back and say, dang, none of this mattered. None of it mattered. All this fighting and, I don't like her and I don't like her and she get on my nerves and she get on my nerves and that bitch this and, all of that kind of stuff. And she took my man and all of that stuff, this bullying stuff has to cease. I said, you guys focus on your education. Be better. Just be better at being you. Be yourselves. Focus on you. Do you. Stop focusing on. And I went in. I was so oh my God. I just felt like at that time it's always been my mission. So, and that's the thing, guys, besides things I want to do, I've always wanted to do motivational speaking to young youth out here because I was one of those youth. I was a troubled youth myself that literally did not see the bigger picture in my life at one time and point, okay? So now that I am grown and I realized that none of that stuff mattered, that went on when I was young, I don't even see half these people that didn't care for me anymore. And I had very few because the thing is that a lot of people liked me. Now, granted, I was just this nice girl that would come around, but I was down to earth. I was always genuine in who I was. It was just me not being 100 with myself as far as the insecurities that I was dealing with. Other than that, I was really exuding who I was, the kindness, the helpfulness, being that loving person that I was and still am today. So I say that to say this, guys. Oh, and by the way, the kids, when I got done with them, they were like, wow. They were like, you know what? Thank you. And mind you, the girl who was about to fight the girl who was a part of the fight, the one who was about to fight the other girl, she was like, but you don't understand. I said, baby, let me tell you something. I do understand. There were people that I went to school with that I really wish that I could have punched them in their damn face. Or people that we were about to fight and punch them in their damn face, okay? I said, so I know that feeling. I can empathize with you. I've been there, done that. So don't tell me that I don't understand you. But what you have to understand is that what you are about to get yourself into is not worth your time nor your energy. Focus on your education. Focus on being a better you. Focus on being who you are, period. You're a kid, so you're discovering yourself right now. Focus on that. Don't sit here and focus on somebody sitting here because she said something smart to you. People are going to piss you off in this life, okay? You're not going to like everybody, and everybody's not going to like you. And let me put it this way. Some people's spirits are nasty. You are going to see a negative side of people. So this is what you're seeing. But that does not mean that you have to engage yourself in this person, into this person's being, in her space, because you don't like her. Who gives a damn? Screw her. Okay? So guys, I say that to say this. And then after that, she thanked me. And all the other kids also thanked me. It was like, you know what? Thank you so much. Wow, your words were powerful today. Like, we needed to hear that. And they felt like, wow, she's making a good point here. And one of the kids said, you know what? Dang, I love what you're saying. And I promise you guys, I saw these same kids. I was walking. I had just decided I'm not going to drive this time. I was going to walk because her school is literally within walking distance, my daughter. And so I had put my baby daughter in her stroller, and we walked to her school. And the kids that were, standing around that day, they saw me. They were, oh, you're the lady that gave us all that good Positive talk. Man, you were deep. You were deep. And I mean, they literally came back to me and thanked me for my words. Do you know how that made me feel? I felt so elated. I felt like, you know what, Father, thank you. I did my job. And I pray that these kids take my advice, because God only knows. I wish when I was younger that somebody said that to me. You know what I'm saying? That somebody really instilled in me that none of that will matter. These people who don't like you in or junior high and high school, they don't matter. And it was more high school, because I was good in elementary and junior high. High school is a whole new ball game. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of competition. Even though some of these people were just because I wasn't in competition with them. I've never been that type of female that would want to be in competition with anybody. I was always and is always the type who is in competition with myself to be better each and every day of my life, okay? That I've gone through my trials and my tribulations, honey, and I am learning and have learned to each and every day to be better myself. I'm not in competition with anybody. And that's the thing. In this life, this is my philosophy, guys. I believe that life is like a big puzzle. Everybody has a piece. We're all missing pieces. We are all pieces to put on that puzzle, okay? Just like Shakespeare says, the world is a stage and we are all actors, okay? Everybody has a role. Some people have exited, unfortunately, and God rest their souls, and, like our ancestors, and God rest their souls, and thank you for, what you have done before us, so that we can be better. So I say all that to say this, guys. What in your life have you felt like, if you could go back in time to your younger self, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell yourself? There's a few things I would tell myself, okay? But one of those main things would be a lot of the things that you're stressing over right now matter not. They are irrelevant, and you have a bigger goal. And you're here, okay? You, like TD Jakes says, you are a giraffe, and sometimes there are turtles. Well, guess what? I was that giraffe that always wanted to come down to the level of a turtle because I didn't know my worth. So that's my question for you guys. What would you tell yourself? What things would you say to yourself to prevent yourself from anything? Like, is there anything that you regret in your past, in your youthful days? Is there anything that you would go back and tell your younger self? I'm pretty sure you would. Okay? I'm pretty sure you would. Now, really quickly, guys, another thing, this is for parents out there. So, I used to work with this lady, and she had a son. And her son, she stated to me, her son was a good kid. And then when her son hit adolescent years, something just started to be a little off. Well, to make a long story short, she found out her son was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. That is a chemical imbalance. That's mental illness. Bless his heart. And she used to ridicule him and say, well, I did a good job, and I don't know why he's acting this way, and I don't know why he's doing this and doing that. Okay? So she was blaming her parent, like she was basically, kind of thinking about her own parenting style and saying, trying to take it off of herself and saying that she did everything right. That's already an ultimate fail. Okay? Nobody's perfect, including parents. So, I say that to say this. Her and I would have a conversation about it and elaborate on these things. And I would give her my opinion. And I would say, you know what? First of all, don't down your son. He was struggling with a mental illness. Granted, you guys did not know what the issue was until he got diagnosed. However, thank God that he got diagnosed. So now you guys know what's up. And stop badgering him for that. Mental illness is something, guys, that is not people's fault. Do you think that they would really want to walk around here with mental illness if they didn't have to? Mental illness is definitely something that is beyond people's control. So we have to stop judging people based off of the fact that they have a mental illness. Be there for them, love them, support them, and don't look at them as, what is wrong with them? Excuse me? That is so wrong of you to even say something like that to someone who is struggling with an illness of the mind. The mind is no joke, guys. I am a psychology major. I know this, okay? And I will give you guys a little insight. I too have been diagnosed in the past, and thank you, Lord, I have been working on myself. So I didn't take any meds, but I have been doing things to get myself together. But I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, along with the comorbidity of having depression and post-traumatic stress disorder myself because of the traumas. Not to bring that up again, but just being honest. Okay? So there's reasons for everything. And now looking back, because I didn't even understand my own actions sometimes. Because I would go through these highs and lows. I would have my, literally have my high states, my manic states, and then I would go back to my lows. And that's from the depression, And my manic states, I was doing things that in my normal state of mind, this impulsive attitude, just doing and thinking later, I would not have done that. So, guys, please don't judge people with mental illness. It is real out here, and I'm such an advocate for it because, like I said, I too have struggled with it, and it's touching to me, not only myself, but other people that I have met and have heard about that is struggling with mental illness. That's a lot of the reasons why I allowed certain things, like I said, that manic state, just going and doing impulsive stuff. Poor decision making, because that's your prefrontal cortex, that negative decision making, because that's where your decision making comes from. So it can be positive or negative. So I wasn't using my prefrontal cortex correctly, but that goes along with mental illness. So guys, please don't do that to people. Have a heart. You know what I'm saying? So I told the mom, please don't, please, and your son. That's the thing, guys. When you're a parent, you know your child. Okay? So if you know your kid has been a good kid all these years, and then all of a sudden something just wasn't clicking, certain things that they started doing was a little off, come on now, that should tell you right there. Have a little more faith in your child to know that something is wrong. It's not your child, it's the illness. It's something going on. Okay? So guys, I have talked enough. But, please comment below, what would you tell your younger self? I know this may be a cliche question, but this is a question that is deep to me. And it's something that I have talked to other young people about, and they've told me themselves things that, and they're young, but they're like, I wouldn't have done this a couple years ago. And then I've talked to adults, and they're like, when I was in my teens and 20s, I wouldn't have done this, that, and the other. I know I'm one of those people, but, hindsight is 20/20, and that's just the journey of living and learning and being on this life of hard knocks. You know what I'm saying? So the school of hard knocks. And like I said, there were certain things beyond my control, dealing with mental illness, and that's when I started to, really get in tune with myself and going to counseling. And it took me years, and it's so crazy because the counselor that I went to, when I finally started going, she said, so why didn't you go when you were a child? So she said, yeah, I can tell you needed it. You have all these pounds and pounds of issues. Piles and piles and piles and piles. It's like shit on top of shit. You see what I'm saying? And you never got the help that you needed. So it made sense why you were doing things. It just didn't make sense. But I'm good now, y'all. So, the grace of God. So, guys, and I'm not perfect. I deal with anxiety as well. At times, I'm not a perfect being. But I pretty much have suppressed the... thank God, with, like I said, going to counseling and stuff, it's helped to suppress, the depression and the post-traumatic stress, and even my bipolarism, just being bipolar, So, all right, guys, have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.